Good evening, everyone. My name is Camille T. Inocencio from PCBet 22402P. Tonight, I will discuss about Article 1318 to Article 1324. Chapter 2, Essential Requisites of Contracts, General Provision. Article 1318 states that there is no contract unless the following requisites concur. Number 1, consent of the contracting parties. Number 2, object certain which is the subject matter of the contract. Number 3, cost of the obligation which is established. So it means, isa man sa kanila ang mawala, makukonsider na natin na walang contract. Classes of elements of a contract. So, may tinatawag tayong common and special. Yung common, siya yung present sa lahat ng contracts, which is yung consent, object, and cause, which is nabanggit sa Article 1318. So, sa lahat ng contract, makikita siya. Then, sunod is yung special. From the word itself, special, hindi siya common, hindi siya pangkaraniwang nakikita sa mga contract. So, nakikita siya sa mga peculiar to certain specified contracts, such peculiarity may be as regards to form, subject matter, and consideration or cause. Article 1319. Consent is manifested by the meeting of the offer and the acceptance upon the thing and the cause which are to constitute the contract. The offer must be certain and the acceptance absolute. A qualified acceptance constitutes a counter-offer. Acceptance made by letter or telegram does not bind the offerer except from the time it came to his knowledge. The contract in such a case is presumed to have been entered into the place where the offer was made. Meaning of consent. Consent is the conformity of wills and the respect to contracts. It is the agreement of the will of one contracting party with that of another or others upon the object and terms of the contract. For example, Gerard offered to sell car for 1 million to Cowrie, but later on he withdrew his offer. Was Gerard allowed to do so? Of course, Gerard can withdraw his offer simply because there's no perfection of contract. Hanggat hindi ina-accept ni Cowrie, walang matatawag na contract, kaya pwede pang mag-withdraw si Gerard ng offer niya. Requisites of consent. Number 1, there must be two parties. Number 2, the parties must be capable or capacitated. Dapat nasa tama silang pag-iisip para makakaasa tayo na makapagbibigay at makatatanggap ng maayos na consent. Number 3, there must be no vitiation of consent. Dapat hindi pinilit yung magbibigay ng consent or pagbibigay ng consent. Dapat kusang loob. Number 4, there must be no conflict between what was expressly declared and what was really intended. So, dapat kung ano yung nakadeclared, ayun talaga yung intended mo. And number 5, intent must be declared properly. So, dapat nakasulat doon kung ano ba talaga yung mga kailangan, kung may dapat bang i-comply. That's all for requisites of consent. Next is meaning of offer. Offer is a proposal made by one party to another to enter into a contract. It is more than an expression of desire or hope. It is really a promise to act or to refrain from acting on condition that the terms thereof are accepted by the person to whom it is made. According to Article 1319, offer must be certain. So, dapat yung offer klaro, malinaw, para once na nag-agree yung other party, may matatawag na perfect agreement or perfect contract. For example, will you buy this watch for 1,000? This is an offer. So, malinaw na sinabi niya or ino-offer niya na bilhin yung watch worth 1,000. Second example, I am willing to sell my car for 210,000 cash or for 12 monthly installments of 20,000. So, yung offer dito, iniwan niya na yung kung paano yung manner of payment sa offeree. So, bahala na yung other party kung magbabayad siya through cash or installment basis. Next is meaning of acceptance. Acceptance is the manifestation by the offeree of his assent to the terms of the offer. Without acceptance, there can be no meeting of the minds between the parties. A mere offer produces no obligation. So, according to Article 1319 pa din, acceptance of offer must be absolute, unconditional, or unqualified. That is, it must be identical in all respects with that of the offer so as to produce the consent or meeting of the minds necessary to perfect a contract. For example, S offered to sell his hacienda to B for 100,000 Philippine currency in cash. Should the latter indicate his acceptance on or before a certain date, otherwise, S would sell the same to others. So B sent a reply stating that, I am very much interested to buy and acquire this hacienda of yours in the same price, manner, conditions, and considerations other buyers will offer. So, yung reply ni B, nagpapakita ng absolute acceptance. Yung offer ni S, talagang tinanggap lang niya, wala na siyang ibang sinabi. And last paragraph of Article 1319, acceptance made by letter or telegram. So, dito, hanggat hindi nare-receive ni offerer yung letter galing kay offeree, hindi matatawag or hindi makukonsider na merong perfect agreement or perfect contract. Ganun din kung may revocation of offer or revocation of acceptance. Hanggat walang knowledge si offerer, hindi matatawag na perfect agreement or perfect contract. And that's all for Article 1319. Now, let's proceed to Article 1320. It states that an acceptance may be expressed or implied. Form of acceptance of offer. So, may dalawang form ng pag-accept ng offer. The first one is an express acceptance. It may be oral or written. The second one is an implied acceptance. It is inferred from act or conduct. Next is Article 1321. The person making the offer may fix the time, place, and the manner of acceptance, all of which must be complied with. So, it simply means that the person making the offer may prescribe the time, place, manner of acceptance, and all of which must be complied. Otherwise, the offer shall be deemed terminated. Next is Article 1322. An offer made through an agent is accepted from the time acceptance is communicated to him. Communication of acceptance to agent. For a contract to arise, the acceptance must be made known to the offeror. By legal fiction, an agent is considered an extension of the personality of his principal. According to Article 1910, Part 1, if duly authorized, the act of the agent is, in law, the act of the principal. So dito, tatlong tao na yung involved. Si offerer, si agent, at si offeree. So, Lawrence offered to sell car for 1 million. Since may agent, siya yung naghanap ng buyer. And nahanap niya si Kate. And inaccept naman ni Kate yung offer, which is a car worth 1 million. So, matatawag na natin siyang perfect contract or perfect agreement kahit si agent at si Kate lang yung magkausap. Since si agent is considered as an extension of the personality of his principal, which is si Lawrence. Article 1323. An offer becomes ineffective upon the death, civil interdiction, insanity, or solvency of either party before acceptance is conveyed. When offer becomes ineffective, an offer may be withdrawn before it is accepted. After acceptance, the contract is already perfected according to Article 1319. Under Article 1323, even if the offer is not withdrawn, its acceptance will not produce a meeting of the minds in case the offer has already become ineffective because of the death, civil interdiction, insanity, or insolvency of either party before the conveyance of the acceptance to the offeror. And last article, Article 1324. When the offerer has allowed the offeree a certain period to accept, the offer may be withdrawn at any time before acceptance by communicating such withdrawal, except when the option is founded upon a consideration as something paid or promised. For example, si Pogi noong November 1 offered to sell his house sa kay Ganda for 1 million. He sent letter giving Ganda 10 days to decide or accept the offer. And then, nung November 5, parang nagbago yung isip ni Pogi. So, he withdraw his offer to sell his house. So, can Pogi validly do so? Of course, yes. Pogi can withdraw his offer since hindi pa naman nagsisend ng acceptance si Ganda and pasok pa sa option period yung pag-withdraw niya ng offer. But what if after mag-send ng letter ni Pogi kay Ganda, Ganda pays 1,000 pesos as option money. And later on November 5, Pogi withdraw his offer to sell his house. So in this case, hindi na pwedeng mag-withdraw si Pogi ng offer niya since nagbayad na si Ganda ng 1,000 na nagsiserve as option money. When we say option money, it is the money paid or promised to be paid as a distinct consideration for an option contract. Option contract is a preparatory contract giving a person for a consideration a certain period and under specified conditions within which to accept the offer of the offerer. And option period is the period given within which the offeree must decide whether or not to enter in the principal contract. And that's all for Article 1318 to Article 1324.